Hey everybody, it's Jasmine and I am super excited to bring you guys this video because not only are we doing a full makeup collection video, which these don't happen often, but we also reached 50,000 subscribers and I am so beyond excited about it. Like, I just cannot believe we've reached this milestone. It just feels kind of unreal. Like 50,000 people is a lot of freaking people. And as a way to celebrate, I really wanted to host a giveaway for you guys. I felt like it was really important for me to do something as a way to say thank you. And at the end of the day, I feel like although some of you guys see me as an influencer, honestly, I see you guys as the influencers here because without you, I wouldn't be the person who I am today. And I am just so happy and thankful that I have such a positive, uplifting platform filled with people who love makeup and who are always sharing positive vibes. I just cannot be any more thankful to you. So I will have all of the giveaway details in the description box below. And please make sure you read the rules. I don't make my giveaways hard at all, but I know there's a lot of people in my past giveaways who don't fully read the rules and thus getting disqualified. So just want to throw that out there as a little disclaimer, but I highly encourage everyone to come and join. I am just so happy and thankful for you guys, and this is just a way for me to say thank you and I love you. Now let's go ahead and talk about the makeup that I have here. Now right here is the full collection, the whole PR package of the Kaleidos Make Your Escape collection. Now Kaleidos is not new to my channel. You guys have literally seen so many tutorials. I've even done a 5-day makeup palette series featuring their makeup palettes, their highlighters, their brushes, and their liquid lipsticks and their lip glosses. You guys have really seen it all on my channel, and quite frankly, I have not really been disappointed by any of their products. And I feel like if I'm being completely honest, I think the only product in their line that I wasn't 100% with was their UV Neon palette, but that was just because I wasn't 100% in love with the color scheme of the palette. But other than that, I haven't had anything that was like super out of the loop for me. For this review, I wanted to organize it in a way where you guys could see the products in use and hear my whole review. So for the first portion of this video, I wanted it to be my first 2 tutorials. So those are going to be more of like the first impression and try on portion. And then towards the end of the video, I wanted to give you guys the swatches and my full dead on review. As with all of my reviews, I keep the description box as neatly detailed as possible. So you're going to find the timestamps to the tutorial as well as the review and swatches, and you're also going to see the products that I'm going to be talking about as well as the prices if possible, if that is available. Let's go ahead and start with the first impression tutorials. I'm going to start off with my Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. As you guys know, this is a project pan item for me, so you will start seeing it a lot more in my tutorials. I'm also almost done with my Shop Miss A Satin Foundation, so I'm just going to be trying to use up the rest in this video. I'm also in the shade Pure Beige in case anyone was wondering. And then to blend in this foundation, I'm going to use the Kaleidos sponge. I'm going to use the green one for today. This one has 2 flat edges on either side, a flat edge on top, and then a flat bottom. I know what it feels like. I know exactly what this feels like. Have you guys tried the Practic sponge? Practic is Sigma Beauty's sister brand. I reviewed their sponge on my channel, I think maybe twice. It's a really hard, dense sponge, so dense to the point where it gave me a nosebleed because it was so dense. This texture in the exterior feels very similar to that. However, like the bounce and texture of it is not like Practic sponge at all. This one almost has like a bit of like the Shop Miss A Mochi sponge, but like maybe a little bit more dense. Maybe along the lines of the Morphe sponge as far as density, but I feel like with this, it bounces the foundation into the skin a little bit different than the Morphe sponge because of the exterior texture. I zoomed you guys in and I'm actually going to keep you guys zoomed in for the rest of the application portion, but this is normally what my Shop Miss A foundation looks like. So it doesn't really alter the way the foundation normally looks on my skin. Yes, there is some redness and some of my sunspots peeking through, but that's pretty normal with this one. Just gonna add a little bit of Shape Tape And then we're also gonna do my ColourPop Stick Foundation as a liquid bronzer. So as you could see, it has sheared out some of that ColourPop foundation, but honestly, I like the way that looks. I like it where it kind of just looks a little bit more skin-like, and I think that's what this does. It just kind of shears it out to the point where it will still offer coverage, but the color itself is not too scary. See how well this blends out the Shape Tape concealer? I normally blend out my concealer last so that it gives me more coverage. My skin looks real good right now, and I love it. I really do. Wow. You guys know me, I don't believe in eye primers, but I'm willing to give this one a shot. This one is their Tone Activator Eye Primer. This one has a beigey tone to it, and I'm just going to apply it with the brush that I use to brush out my concealer. And I just find that with a lot of eye primers that I've tried, I feel like my concealer works just as well. So to me, it's almost like an extra step to my routine that is unnecessary. The eye primer has a very liquidy texture, I feel like, layered on top of the concealer that I already had down. It was a little bit patchy, but like it settled on its own, so now it's not patchy at all. Crazy. Okay, cool. I am so excited about their new palette. This one's called the Escape Pod. This is what it looks like inside. I think for today's look, I want to do something super crazy and colorful. I'm going to take the cream shade called Lo-Fi, and I'm going to go ahead and pat this onto my crease and transition area. And then I'm going to take a little bit more to blend it in. I'm going to start with Flamingo, and I'm going to place this right on the crease area on a small pencil brush. And I'm also going to take this into the outer corner, creating this outline for my entire eyelid. Then I'm going to take Soyri on a blending brush, and I'm going to blend right on top of Flamingo. And this is going to be almost like my main color focus because I just really love these dusty lilac colors. I'm going to take Tango right in this outer corner here, still on top of Flamingo, and I'm going to try my best to blend it in with Soyri. And then I'm going to push right into where my direct crease is with the color Tango and just go back and forth. Here's my stance on these eyeshadows. They are super pigmented, and yes, they do have fallout, but I feel like for the amount of pigment, I am not mad at it. And I've never really been the type of person to really be mad at fallout either. We're gonna do a half cut crease. So I'm starting out in the inner corner, bringing this up as far as I want to, and then filling in the eyelid. And then with Galactic Gala, I'm going to apply this right on top of my concealer. And by the way, if you guys are new to my channel, I do not wet my brushes. I hate the feeling of wet brushes on my eyes. It's like the worst feeling ever. So this is just with a dry brush, and I feel like it is super pigmented, super metallic. So I put on my liner and lashes, and then I was trying to dust off the fallout, and I guess I got like mascara or eyeliner somewhere on my cheek and I could not cover it. So I drew a heart just to cover it. And right now I am blending in Flamingo as my base shade. And then on that same brush, I'm going to take Soyri and apply that right on the edge. I am over the moon that they now have blush duos. This one is Lo-Fi Peach. I think that this will just tie in everything because this seems a little bit more muted as opposed to really fun and vibrant. So I'm actually gonna take both of these, and I'm gonna start with Punch on the bottom here, which is the matte, and apply that on the cheek. It's pretty. I think it applies evenly. Is this a color to like really write home about? No, but if I was being honest, in high school, this would be like the type of blush shade that I would wear all of the time and that I would only be looking for. I wasn't the type of person to be really adventurous with blushes, so this is a definite safe zone color. And then Igari on top, I'm gonna apply that right here. Ooh, I think that's a highlighter. This sheen right here, it's not chunky at all. I think that's a great thing because now it does not emphasize a whole bunch of texture. They released a new Space Age highlighter. This one is Diamond Dasher, and I'm going to apply that right on the tops here. And then I'm going to take that also into the inner corner just to brighten everything up. As the name suggests, Diamond Dasher, this one definitely is like, it's not chunky, but the particles are just a little bit bigger than that of the blush. So this one definitely is more of like a light metallic, if you will. It's not quite like the metallics that are in the palette here, but it's not quite like a highlighter. So it's somewhere in the middle. I love their Lucid Lips so much. They have a new shade here called Hypnotize. I quickly want to just compare the shade with my favorite Lucid Lip. This one is in Fantasize. So Hypnotize is definitely more on the darker side. It's kind of the same color family, but just a little darker. The shade Hypnotize has like this soft hint of color, but nothing too crazy. It's not super pigmented either, but it's not completely clear and just like a burst of glitter. It's not like that. I feel like personally with their Lucid Lips, because there is glitter in here, I find that throughout the day, like once it starts to wear off, you will start seeing like the glitter around your lips, but it's not going to feel like chunky, hard. It's not gonna feel like that. So just keep that in mind with these glosses. So I'm gonna start out with the purple sponge, and I'm gonna see if there's any noticeable difference with this sponge or if it's just a different cut and color. If we were to just highlight the shape real quick, it's the same shape as the Real Technique sponge. Nothing we haven't seen before. And just like the first tutorial, we are gonna do the bronzer and the concealer with the same sponge. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I am not somebody who is necessarily really picky with the shape of their sponges. I think the only shape of sponge that I just prefer to not use are those gourd shapes, the one that looks like this. For some reason, I've never had good experiences with them. Maybe because the gourds are usually all round and there's no point. Maybe I prefer the point. Actually, I do prefer the point. I love the point. Like you see, it just really fits up in this inner corner area beautifully. Love it. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend in that eye primer all over the eyes. We're gonna take Lo-Fi and pat it on the lid before we blend that out. I could really appreciate the fact that there is a beigey tone in here just so I could do this step. I should have done this in the first tutorial, but I totally forgot that Kaleidos has makeup brushes, and I have their Futurism brush set, and they're actually really good. You've seen these in a lot of videos. We're gonna take Bossa Nova, and we're gonna make this our transition shade right on top of Lo-Fi. This is a cool tone brown, and I am bringing it up real high, almost to the brow bone, because we're gonna be working with a lot of color. On that same brush, I'm gonna take Exoplanet and I'm gonna apply this right in the crease. It's so pigmented. I really do love Kaleidos' mattes. I think that they really do just perform so well, whether you are talking about this palette or their smaller palettes that they do have. I'm gonna take some of Mardi Gras and I'm gonna go right in this top edge here and blend that through. This is gonna really warm everything up. I'm gonna do a really big cut crease, and I like to start in the inner corner, going up as high as I want to, and then finishing off in a tail. In this outer corner here, I'm gonna tap on Carnival, and it's another type of really bright neon orange. This one is more of like a peachy orange as opposed to like a red and orange. And then I'm gonna tap in Space Oasis. This is so pretty. This shade, I don't think you guys can quite see it just yet, but it is like this iridescent purple. Ooh boy, I love shades like this so much. And then right in the center here, I'm choosing Cosmic Cabaret, and I think this will just tie in these two shades really nicely. How beautiful is that? I love it. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take Carnival just to match what we have going on up on the lid. And then I'm gonna blend that out with a little bit of Lo-Fi just so the edges can do its own blending. I'm gonna take the shade Starlight Sonata and apply this into the inner corner. Ooh, oh. Honestly, such a small area, but such a huge impact. Like, I love like this shade. It's like very champagne, but like a little rose gold. And I like how this shimmer is more of like a dispersed shimmer, almost like the Shiseido Aura Dew. Let's move on into the blush. Now this duo is the Lo-Fi Rose. This one seems a little cool tone, which I think will pair really nicely with this eye look that we have going on. On my skin, this really looks like a light purple, which, you know, I'm not mad at. It's still really wearable. I think that if you are tan to dark skin tone, I don't think the blushes are really gonna show up. I think the little highlighty side right here will, but as far as the matte side, you're gonna really have to build. And I think for me, I think that this is essentially like the max amount of pigment that you're gonna get out of this. And you could see it's like nothing like super crazy. It's just a hint of color. All right, let's take the shimmery side. Do you see how my cheek now has like this nice soft glisten from within? Then I'm gonna use the Space Age highlighter in Mars Melter. I feel like this shade is a reformulation and a rename from a different Kaleidos highlight. Hold on. Yes, it is. Okay, so the old one was actually this one, the Comet Catcher, and it's literally the same shade. The only difference I think is the texture. Now I do remember Kaleidos having a post on their Instagram and they said that they reformulated Ray Rider, and in the PR they gave us Moon Crusher, which I believe is the same as Skywalker. So I think what they did was they reformulated it to make it a little bit more soft and smooth on the skin, but they kept the same color. But this is not as loud. This is definitely a little bit more subdued and a little bit more wearable. I wanted to pair this look with a dark lip, so I first lined with the Shiseido lip liner in Espresso, and I'm gonna take the same Lucid lip in the shade Hypnotize. I hope you guys all enjoyed those tutorials. Now I want to go ahead and jump right into the review portion. Now I want to go ahead and start off with the sponges. Now, like I said in the tutorials, I feel like these are the exact same texture as well as feel. The only difference is the cut as well as the color. Now I feel like I do like the cut on both of these. I felt like there wasn't one that I preferred over the other. I like the fact that this has a flat edge. This also has a flat edge, but you know, you do get different points. I feel like this one is more of like a flat point and this one is more of your dome point. As you guys know, my #1 beauty sponge is the Shop Miss Paw Paw Charity Sponge. So the question is, how do these compare to the Shop Miss Paw Paw? Well, I feel like my Paw Paw is so much softer, and I feel like the shape is just your regular beauty sponge shape, the teardrop shape. Now with these ones, I feel like they are a little bit more dense and they do have a different texture on the exterior. This one definitely feels almost like a silicone hybrid texture, but I don't believe this is made out of silicone. If you are the type of person who likes a medium density sponge, this is definitely it. I usually prefer really soft density sponges, but this works extremely well. I felt like my foundation looked really good after application, and even if I look really close, everything still looks soft and smooth. So that's something that I really appreciate out of the sponges. The dogs have literally been making this review impossible for me. I cannot. So I'm gonna be holding my dog while I talk about the rest of the products. Now the next one that I have here is the Tone Activator, which is the eye primer. Now this one actually claims to do a lot, which I didn't read, and normally with my reviews I don't really read about the product prior to trying it out. So this one says that it enhances your eyeshadow and pressed pigment's vibrancy and color payoff. It also prevents smudging, prevents creasing, and is water resistant. For a lot of the eye primers that I have tried, they were almost like a thick concealer, so when I did blend it out, it kind of just created a really creasy base on me. But with this one, I think because it was so thin and I used that big, dense brush, I felt like it just evenly applied on my eyes, so that was great. Do I feel like the colors are more vibrant? I feel like in general the Kaleidos eyeshadows are pretty vibrant in itself. Truly, I feel like I have to use this eye primer more. I feel like yes, it's great. I think that it does create a nice base, but I don't really know because quite honestly, I don't really use eye primers. So I feel like I'd have to use it with so many more eyeshadow palettes. But off of first impressions and after using it a couple of times, I do feel like this is one of the better eye primers that I have used. It's not thick like MAC Painterly Paint Pot. It's not sticky like a lot of other eye primers, but it's definitely thin and it layers on top of concealer really well. So for the most part, I think I really do enjoy this. As far as the eyeshadow palette is concerned, I feel like this is really beautiful. I love the color scheme. I love the amount of, I guess, neutral shades. I mean, there's only 3 neutral shades and then the rest are colored, but I love the amount of pigment that this has. This has so many mattes, but also so many shimmers, and everything just gives you like this beautiful galactic vibe, which is literally the entire collection. That's literally the theme of Kaleidos makeup. I feel like once you blend in everything with each other, it just flows really beautifully. And I think that if you have a nice color story, then you could use the palette in so many different ways. So this is definitely something that I highly recommend. I love the Kaleidos eyeshadow palette formula. I think it's one of the freaking best. The shimmers, again, are phenomenal. They pick up really well with the brush, and I feel like for a lot of palettes, shimmers don't really pick up well on brushes, but this is amazing. Yes, it does have fallout, but I really don't care because it's really pigmented. It's really bold, it's really bright, and I feel like even if you build it up, it doesn't patch off, which I feel like for a lot of like neon palettes, really bright palettes, that's a really big issue where it really just patches off, does not want to build. Maybe this actually works. Maybe. I really truly believe that eye primers don't work, and there are people who believe that setting sprays don't work, and there are people who believe that primers in general don't work. And you know what? Maybe this one works. Maybe it does. Okay? Maybe it does. The blushes here, I feel like I was the most excited for, but when using them, I do feel like they're really pretty on the skin. However, I don't feel like it is as inclusive as it should be. I felt like one should be a little bit more of a deeper tone than the other, and I felt like these two still remained in the medium spectrum, and I feel like even on my skin, even far away, you guys could really just barely see the blush on me, and I am a medium skin tone. Right now, I'm actually like light medium because I haven't seen the sun in God knows how long. And that almost proves my point. Like if I'm the lightest right now and this blush barely shows up on my skin, then is it really worth it for somebody who's tan or a darker complexion? I feel like for blushes right now, because I think it is really trendy, I feel like they should have gone a little darker. Are the formulas really great? Of course they are, but I feel like it can be improved as far as the color variety is concerned. So I hope that they continue to create these blush duos and create more shades to offer. And as far as the actual duo itself, I love the fact that one is matte and one is shimmery. I think this makes it really easy for travel. And this one in particular, the rose one, I feel like this would be like my perfect traveling blush set because I could easily make this into a highlight if I just pinpoint it on my cheeks. So something really nice. I think it is practical, and I just love blushes, okay? Their newest shade in their Space Age highlighters is Diamond Dasher, and I feel like for me this is really pretty. I do love the way this looks on the skin. However, I feel like for some people you may not like it. I feel like for this one it is a little bit more of like a dispersed glitter effect on the skin, but I like that. I like looking like I just dipped myself in some sprinkles. You know, I like that look sometimes, and this really does give it to me. I do find that it is really soft and buttery and smooth. And speaking of that, I did mention that they did reformulate some of their other highlighters. So that's going to be the Mars Melter, the Moon Crusher, and Ray Writer. Now you guys have definitely seen me use these in past tutorials, so if you guys watch my Kaleidos series, then you'll definitely see these on the skin. Now, the only difference is the formula. They did keep the same colors, they just changed the formula to be a little bit more smooth. So back when they launched their original Space Age highlighters, they launched this one called Skywalker, which is the iridescent blue. Now it is called Moon Cruiser. So a little bit different packaging, same color, which is an iridescent blue, like I said. Comet Catcher is now Mars Melter, which is a nice soft iridescent pink. Truly, I feel like the formula isn't too far off from each other. Yes, this is a little bit more softer on the skin. However, I feel like when you blend it out with a regular highlighting brush, I think it looks the same on the skin. Ray Writer is going to be in the same exact packaging, it's the same exact name, it's the same exact color, and that is going to be like your goldeny soft highlighter. And again, the only difference is the formula change. The new one is just a little bit softer in texture than the older one. Finally, we have their Lucid Lip in the shade Hypnotize. This does look like a dark red, but on the lips, it just gives your lips a really nice tint with a lot of sheen, and that's what I really like about their Lucid Lips in general. I find that it feels like lip balm on the lips. You don't really feel like you're wearing lip gloss, which is really nice, and I really do like this shade. I think it is a little bit of a step up from Fantasize, which is the one that I really do like. So just a little bit lighter. This one is more of like my everyday type of lip gloss, and the Hypnotize one is more of something that I'll wear if I just need a little bit of extra color. So I hope you guys all really enjoy this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so happy I got through this review. The dogs were so crazy. I'm sweating, and I just want to say a huge thank you again. I hope you guys all get a chance to join my giveaway. And as always, if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to get notified for my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday uploads. As always, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.